Folks. Greetings from Priene. This is a town somewhere between Ephesus and Didma, and it is an extraordinary town because it's built on a hillside and it's relatively intact, and it was primarily a Hellenic Greek town. And this is one place you can come to see the layout of a Hellenic Greek town, and it's gorgeous. But and I've been here many times, but that's not the reason why I'm here today. I'm here today because some of you may know me, but I've spent a great portion of my life exploring landscapes, and that means sacred landscapes like here in Anatolia, or in Egypt, or in India. It also means the human landscape, the human psyche, because I work as a healer and have been doing so for 30 years. And in a way, the human landscape is an image of sacred landscapes. And the more I study and explore ancient Greek mythology, the more astounded I am at how well they mapped the human psyche and how well they mapped the divine worlds. And the other folk who did it equally so well were the old Egyptians. Don't get me wrong, Hinduism did it as well, and the Romans did it as well. But the reason why I'm here today is because the stairs that I'm walking up to brings me to a temple built for the goddess Athena. This is the primary temple here, and it's huge. And Athena, as you probably all know, was the daughter of Zeus. Matter of fact, she spent her gestation period in Zeus's head, in his forehead, meaning that she had no mother. And after she was born, because her father had headaches, she became the goddess of wisdom in a female form, and also of warfare, along with many other things. And one of the reasons why it's so nice to come here is because you can really attune yourself to Athena here, because you can see actually how male this temple is. It's very male. There's nothing feminine about it if you compare it to like an Artemis temple in Sardis. And this is very masculine. And I'm just going to show you around here a little bit, and then I'm going to climb up the hill and continue, because up there, between here and there, and the necropolis is up there, is a sanctuary built in the name of Demeter and Persephone. And if you take these two deities, and Demeter is not one of the 12 gods, then you see how well the old Greek folk could attune themselves to the divine feminine and give each one of their goddesses different characteristics, or the goddesses have different characteristics, creating a belief system which actually served your every need. The Egyptians did that as well with Sekhmet and Isis and Nephthys and so forth. The river did run down there. It doesn't anymore. And you can see these huge blocks lying around here. They did manage to resurrect 4 of the columns, and they did it well. And it's a very peaceful place, don't get me wrong. But Athena was the guardian of Athens, and she was a very powerful, but in some ways a very cold goddess. compared to some other Greek goddesses like Artemis, Aphrodite, and Demeter. And that's why I'm here today, because, and that's why, if you're interested in these themes of the divine feminine and divine masculine, this is one place where you can visit a beautiful, beautiful city, often very much alone here, and then experience the power of a Greek goddess here, and then walk up that hill, if you know how to get up there, because it's not marked, and then attune yourself to Demeter, who was very feminine. She took care of the agriculture for us, and she had a daughter, so she was not childless. And the tragedy between her and her daughter, that her daughter was abducted by Hades, the brother of Zeus, is a drama that has a lot to do with when a young girl starts to separate from her mother, and the pain that creates initially, because at some point every child has to separate from their parents. So I'll get back to you when I'm up there. Sometimes it's difficult to find your way up there, and I'll talk to you about Demeter and her daughter up there. Okay, take care, everybody, and see you very soon. Okay, folks, so I made it up here. As I said, there's no path, but if you trust your intuition, you'll find it. And I've been here quite a few times, but I don't remember being this large. So you can see this retaining wall built to probably house this temple here, very large. And now we're going to enter the temple. And as I said, when you're down below and in the presence of Athena, then you're in the presence of a very powerful and wise god. And when you come up here, actually perched over the city, and that's intentional, then you experience a fully different aspect of the divine feminine according to Greek mythology. And that has to do with the goddess of agriculture and fertility, who took care of the lands to make sure they were fertile for us, that we could live well and eat well, along with Dionysus, who was the god of wine. However, this is a place of great peace, but you can also experience a great tragedy here. And if you don't know it, I'll just share it with you. And actually now I feel a heaviness in me where normally I feel a peace, because it's almost a confirmation of what this sanctuary offers us. Now we're going into the Holy of Holies, as it were, where they would probably make a sacrifice here. They always made sacrifices in front of the temple and then brought the sacrifice up here. She had a daughter, Persephone, Cora, and her daughter used to travel with her during the day when she would take care of the fields. But her daughter was getting older. She was prepubescent, and one day they were out, and her daughter, because of the deep love she had for her mother, wanted to collect some wild flowers to make a bouquet. So she got separated from her mother, and then a chasm opened up in the earth, and she was abducted, is the word they use. Sometimes they use rape, which is wrong, but it's okay. And she was taken into the underworld by Hades, the brother of Zeus, because he had no wife. And as the story goes, after a while, Demeter realized that her daughter's missing, and she goes off looking for her daughter, and looking and looking and looking and looking, and she doesn't find her. And she neglects her responsibility for caring for the earth. So Zeus hears of this and starts to say, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me. Demeter has to take care of the fields. So he, some stories say he contacted Hermes, the messenger, and told him to find Persephone. And they did. And then the negotiations start between the messengers and Hades. And in the meantime, Hades gave Persephone 6 pomegranate seeds. And when you consume 6 pomegranate seeds, you're condemned to stay where you are. However, the negotiations went on, and it was decided that Persephone could reunite with her mother in springtime and stay until autumn, and then she would spend the winter in the underworld. And therefore we have the 4 seasons here. And so here, you know, if you were a daughter and you had a hard time separating from your mother, or if you were a son and had a hard time separating from your father or your mother, then this is a place that you can heal that trauma. Really. There's a really special exercise you can do. It has to do with the chakras, where you experience the separation and then you experience the reconciliation. And this sanctuary supports that completely. And as you see, you might be here alone. Anyhow, I'm going to bring a group here in October of this year, and we're going to come here and meditate together in this extraordinary place. So that's it from Priene, and my trip continues, and take care and thanks for listening.